Kim and Chad and Gus. Gus is being very insistent today that he's in the video too.
Yeah. Hi. This has been a while. I've been really sick with that good old holiday flu that's going around. And we were sitting around and we were, doing our reorganization for the new year. Yeah, I love you too.
And we've pretty much decided, or at least I've decided for me. And it may seem like a cop-out, but I'm going to be a better person this year than I was last year. I'm going to work on my mental health, my financial health, and my physical health. Just to be a better all-around person. Some people would be like, oh, yeah, whatever, that's not... No, it really does help. When you're a nicer person, it helps the people around you. So...
See, and I found that out as doing security and police work. Being Andy Griffith is a sure way to make the real person come out. Mm-hmm. Because if you're being very nice and they're a complete jerk, they're going to attack you sooner. If you're being Andy Griffith and they're a very nice person, they'll usually mellow out and say, so that is the best way to do it. Is just be positive yourself. I mean, you don't have to let people run over you like a freight train.
Right.
But
and I am going to apologize. It's a rainy day here. My hair is not cooperating with anything I tried to do with it. So I just pulled it back. So if you see me like messing with it because I can see my reflection. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I can't stand my hair today. I need to get it cut. And also for the channel, we are going to start doing a Friday night happy hour stream.
Just us talking.
And there won't be any drinking of alcohol. There will be drinking of water, maybe juice, iced tea, soda, whatever, but no alcohol on our part. You can imbibe if you want, but...
Because I had to make some very serious decisions in my life. When the doctor says, you have cirrhosis and you need to quit drinking immediately. Your physical health, your mental health, because I've always battled and then self-medicated. I would go to work and there would be a dead body and it would be a tragedy. And I would come home and if I laid down in bed, I would just stay awake all night thinking about it. So I would self-medicate. And then I'd be able to sleep.
And he got this information from the doctor a year ago. So it's been...
And I've been very lucky. I got moved to a new position, which, the way it sounds, that position is now just disappeared. So I have no idea what's coming up in the days ahead. But I think I'll try getting out of security and law enforcement just as a mental health issue. I'm tired of being the wall where bad things wash up against. Oh, he committed suicide. Oh, he died. Oop, all these terrible things have happened, and what are you going to do about it? I'm tired of being that guy. And luckily, with security, it hasn't really happened. I just had to make a phone call and say, hey, this is the situation. Come get it. But it still makes you feel bad, deep in your heart. And to help me with my mental health, so I don't have to self-medicate, because I can't anymore. No adult beverages ever, ever, ever again. Not even one or two.
And I can't go through him self-medicating anymore. Just saying.
But that's the hard part about you. And I developed it as a habit, and being a fully functional alcoholic, where you can go to work and you don't lose relationships and you can keep jobs and you can do all this stuff, but you still come home and everything is revolving around, oh, I'm home, I can have a drink. And you just go, nope, not going to do it anymore. I can't. I'll be dead if I do it, if I continue. So that's my moving forward. And the whole nightmare of it, all the way around, because I can imagine since I was 18, that's what I did. I'm 56 now.
And just so y'all know, that was the legal drinking age in Idaho at the time. It's not anymore. But at that point, it was.
Yeah. I've basically, to help myself, ruined myself. But I can be funny. I can be humorous. I can talk about things. I can do all that stuff. But it's the depression that runs in the family. I can't blame that anymore. You've got to move away from it and say, you know what? My mom had a terrible childhood. Her father would come home drunk. And she would have to say, stitch up his forehead, because he'd have a terrible wound from bar fighting. And she would have to sew him up. She would tell me stories like that, and you're going, ooh, that's terrible. And then you watch an uncle who drank himself almost blind. And when the doctor says, yeah, you're going to go blind if you drink anymore. And you watch it and you go, oh, that's not me. That's not me. Yeah, it's me. So alcohol is now forbidden in all aspects. And I'm lucky that, I can just go, nope, done. Every now and again, you get that, oh, it'd be so nice to just, but that's it. I mean, it is funny, as a probation officer, I would go to Alcoholics Anonymous with my people and go, see, this is how you're supposed to live your life. And then I'd go home and have a drink. I was the biggest hypocrite in the entire world about alcohol and well, that's done now. I can't, or I'll die. So moving on.
And we don't want that.
No. I married a woman who wants me to live forever. But when you do things in your life and you go, okay, here we go. And you knuckle in and you go, I'm dead. It's do or die. Okay, I lived. Yay. Let's go have a drink. A celebration of life was a drink. Celebration of death, the mourning of someone who was a drink. Not doing anything was a drink. And it was a measured amount, and I tried, but then, every now and again I'd have that third one. And that third one is the one that put me way over the top, and look at this guy.
He loved you.
Have you guys ever seen an anorexic pug before?
That's an anorexic pug.
That's an anorexic pug. How we got so lucky to have a pug that can run
and you see him jump on furniture. Just doesn't matter how high it is. He just jumps on it. But we love him.
But
he's almost a year old. We're coming up on his first birthday in February. So that y'all know the direction we're going to take the channel. It's going to stay the same in some ways. It's going to change in some ways. Okay, one, we're doing that Friday night happy hour. I am also going to really back off quite a bit on the Tim Ballard stuff, just simply because he has started to revert back to some of his old ways. And I'm not going to get into that right now because I don't want to get in trouble with Tim Ballard. But there are some things that have come out that I will report on, but they'll just be really brief, very short and to the point. I'm also waiting to get more information on the funeral home in Penrose, Colorado, for them to finish their investigation and go further. I also want to know more about the Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Frankie thing. I know they both pled guilty. The next thing is to find out in February what they're being sentenced to. We know what they're being sentenced for. We just don't know how long they're going to spend in prison, but they are going to prison. Also, the Chad Day bill, the Idaho murders, Koberger. Just to kind of do an update on. I'm also still going to talk about some of the religions that are considered cults.
And other wacky, goofy stuff.
Lots of fun topics.
And see, it's funny. I'm just sitting here thinking, what we'll do is, well, you talk, I'll hold a pug. I'll pass the pug to you, and I'll talk.
Okay, well, give me the pug because you wanted to say something about belly button health and cleaning.
That was a joke. We were talking about clickbait one day, and how people will put up Supreme Court removes all rights to rifles, and you'll go into it, and they're considering some little bill from some little state
in a different country,
and it's just clickbait. And I went, well, that would be a great clickbait. The belly button, care and feeding.
I've got one of these.
Show that.
Belly button duster.
Belly button duster. That's right up there with the mosquito bear traps.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
That's why I had you.
So that's going to be the clickbait on this one is belly button, health and cleaning.
Right.
Then the most important parts of my life. Now going through a midlife crisis with, vehicles, because we need to get another vehicle. And me and a friend were talking about the kind of cars that guys like an El Camino. I'm like, yeah, an El Camino.
Caminos. It's like, do you want a car or do you want a truck? Make up your
Big
mind.
mag
Which
wheels.
one?
Yeah. She hates them. A minivan.
Hate 'em.
Some of these minivans are amazing. There's 37 cup holders.
I remember before we bought our Expedition, he's like, let's look at minivans. I'm like, no, you will not have a minivan in my driveway. I will not drive a minivan. No minivan. He's like, just test drive it. We went, like half a block? And I went, okay, I'm done. No.
She's just done on the minivan. And then I remember my Uncle Lane's van. He had this van with a Frank Franzetta mural on both sides. One was the African princess with the panthers and the chains and the Conan looking stuff on it. And on the other side was the guy with the polar bears on a chariot. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. And she said no. No on that. And I go, well, we could travel all over the place. She goes, we couldn't go anywhere. Everybody would come steal.
We can travel in our Mazda. That is comfortable. We've driven it from Colorado to Alabama to Idaho to Texas.
Okay, we've done some driving. We've done some moving around so we're not sitting stagnant.
And our Mazda is a great touring vehicle.
It is. I mean, you can't stretch out and take a nap in the middle of the day.
It's a CX-5, so
It's not bad. Okay, what's the next one on there? Things my wife won't let me have.
Yeah.
Like?
A minivan.
Okay, minivan.
El Camino.
El Camino. Oh, okay, so that goes with the other one. Okay.
I don't know. You rode on there, not me.
And then the other topic my wife came up with was...
And I forget how we got on the subject, and I'm just going to give a shout out to Was it American Dad, Family Guy? It was one of those shows. Might have even been Robot Chicken. I don't know. But they brought it up. I think it was Family Guy.
Yeah.
Popeye, the reason he's got a squinky eye and his speech is kind of... Yeah. He's had a stroke. Obvious. If you know anybody who's had a stroke. Popeye's had a stroke.
You know, that's kind of topic of conversation when your wife suddenly looks at you. You know, that makes sense. Popeye had a stroke. Popeye had a stroke? When? Did it... No,
we don't know when.
That's why he's like that. And look at the terrible edema in his forearms. And you're like, no, those are muscles. No, that's edema. Yeah, that's a terrible...
How do you get huge forearms and not biceps? I mean,
well, he is a sailor, you know what I mean. What's that last one?
Competition in high school. And the competition in high school isn't what you would normally think. There is competition in high school as far as who is the smartest, who gets the best grades, who's going to be valedictorian. That's not the competition we're talking about. I was surprised. So anybody I went to high school with that this pertains to them, I'm very sorry. I had just mentioned one night that the high school we went to, they had a special education area. I didn't know it. I went.
She just knew not to pick up guys down that hallway.
That was Jock Hallway.
No, it's a joke.
Oh, okay.
Okay, don't go down the special needs hallway, which leads to, when you get down there, the automotive and then the welding shops. Yeah, you don't pick up guys down there. Down at the very end, maybe.
Yeah, and I didn't know that it was a special needs. I guess that shows how naive I was.
Yeah, they had the special needs classroom, and at the end was welding, and on the other side was auto shop. Kind of the VOTEC for the non-going to college kids.
You know, and okay, I did not grow up poor by any means. I did not grow up rich by any means. My parents had their priorities. As I was in high school, my mom was going to college. My dad was a professional. You know, so we had money, but a lot of it was allotted to my mom's college education. But I didn't. I mean, I was dressed very nice. I had clean clothes every week.
You didn't have Gucci.
Right. I didn't have Gucci. I didn't have Guess. I'm trying to think of what the brands were back then in the 90s. I didn't have...
Hash jeans.
I didn't have Cherokee jeans. I didn't have Normandy Rose. Now, I did have clothes. Nice clothes. Not name brand.
Good digging. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
It kept you warm in the Idaho winters.
And one thing we had talked about, this kind of brought this up, is, okay, you can be poor. You know, struggle to dress your kids, struggle to feed your families, whatever. But just because you're of lower class doesn't mean you have to wear dirty clothes. You keep yourself clean, keep your clothes clean. That goes a long way as far as looking nice.
True. Now, some of those kids who look like they wore the same thing for a year, and they came covered in oil and terrible things like that. They smelled like animal urine, you know, and that was always a terrible thing. But you could pick those kids out, but you could really tell that those kids who thought that being up here was the most important thing in the world all kind of failed in life. There were some terrible things that I've heard about some of them that I'm not going to mention because that's their business and their story to tell.
Right.
Quit digging, you monster.
Like he probably got a bone down the couch, so he's digging for it. Ow! Fang. But in our lives now, competing is useless. I mean, it's not like either of us are in the gene pool. I mean, we've got our nice little shirts and our good clothing and our very nice house, and everything is wonderful for us.
And I have been doing some redecorating. Not that I've gone out and bought anything, because I am working on financial health, which means watching what money I spend. But when I have things like this vase back here, it was just sitting in a closet, and I went, oh, if I take this table, I put a tablecloth over it, I've got a nice background piece.
Take the giant tub that has the hogshead filled with beetles in it and put that back out in the garage. So, yeah.
Not that we have one of those.
I know a guy who does. You know, I'm stripping the skull, and it should be a very nice ornamental piece. We just gotta let the beetles do their work.
So I plan on taking you all with on my journey for financial health, mental health, physical health. You know, I'm not gonna just leave you all hanging and not let you know what's going on.
There's some things we're gonna leave out.
True.
Because
Because I am a private person.
yeah, we're not. There's gonna be some doctor visits we're not gonna let you come on because that would be icky. But yeah, we're old. Well, who cares? Screw this stuff. It's time to move on with life and let that freak flag fly one last time. Mm-hmm. Because there's nothing holding us back. There's nothing where we've got to go. We've got everything we need. So please send us topics. Send us ideas. There's so many people out there that I've met who don't or were never told about topics.
And if you have a question, more than likely we'll answer it. Or we'll at least answer it
Yeah.
to some degree.
Quit digging, you monster.
But it's funny, like me and my wife were talking early on in our relationship about the sex talk. And I remember my father's sex talk. And then years later seeing a movie called Spencer's Mountain. Wait a minute. My father quoted, what's his name, Fonda.
Jane Fonda. Or Henry.
Henry Fonda in a movie as my sex talk. And that's all he said. And I'm looking, that guy's plagiarized Henry Fonda. Didn't tell me anything. But luckily, you know, at the time in school they had courses that went, okay.
And like in 6th grade when they separated out the boys and the girls.
Those movies were horrible. But, you know, but ideas are, some people don't like talking about some ideas. Some people feel they have to tell you everything about everything. Life is a beautiful place. You might as well enjoy it. You might as well.
Excuse me, I need my cup. It's my second cup for the day, but
Not till 3 or 4 we'll really get the ball rolling. But yeah, so we're going to be doing some other things, and we're going to be coming up with topics like the belly button, health,
and how to clean it.
and cleaning.
Get yourself a belly button duster.
And Kim and I have lived. I lived in Hawaii, Washington, Arizona, Georgia, Alabama, New Jersey.
And
I've been
lived
around.
Pennsylvania, California. And then we both have lived in Idaho, Colorado, Alabama. Texas.
Yeah, that's the. So, sharing and traveling and doing goofy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very nice to see you guys again. Please give us some feedback. We'd love to get this channel rolling. I'd love some advertisements on here. We I don't know what else to say besides thank you, and we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.